Hello, I'm Matthew Finch from BTG Recruitment. I'm known as the go-to guy for accounting and finance recruitment in the East Midlands. And today we're going to be talking about how we can prevent issues when it comes to making a job offer and potentially our offer being declined. I was dealing with one particular client. I had a meeting with him last week as a finance director who'd been trying to recruit the same role for, I think it's getting on for about 6 months now. And over that period of time, he'd made 3 job offers, and all 3 of those offers had been declined. And you know, the fact that this position had been open for almost 6 months now, it's starting to have an impact on the business. Work that they wanted to get done wasn't being done. The amount of time that had been invested by him personally and also the management team in this process was massive. And you know, there are a couple of things that could take away from his experience that I wanted to share with you that we can do to help prevent that situation. So what we're going to be talking about today is how we can predict, even before we've interviewed a candidate, whether they're likely to accept our job offer. The 2 questions we need to ask that will give us the health of the placement before the offer is ever made. And you know, once we've answered these questions, what we can do with that information to increase the likelihood of the candidate accepting the offer. So you know, the first bit of information, the first thing that we need to know that will you know, is a key indicator of whether somebody's going to accept our offer or not is the candidate's reason for leaving. We need to specifically know why the candidate is looking to leave their current role. And this needs to be a professional reason for leaving as well. So, you know, quite often when we'll ask people about reason for leaving or why somebody's looking to leave their current role, we'll get quite a general answer. So something like progression. But you know, this isn't clear enough. You know, progression can mean a lot of things for you know, a lot of different people. Progression for one person could be, you know, progressing to be a financial controller, to be a finance director, getting a promotion. Other people, they feel like they progress just by gaining additional experience, additional skills. So specifically, we need to know what progression means for the candidate we're going to interview, or you know, more generally, what specifically is their reason for leaving their current role. Okay, so once we know their reason for leaving, we need to ask ourselves the question: how do we solve the candidate's reason for leaving? What does our opportunity give them that will cause them to leave their current role? And unfortunately, if we aren't able to solve their reason for leaving, it means it's highly likely that the candidate is not going to accept your job offer, or we're going to have to make quite a high monetary offer to get the candidate to accept their role. So, okay, we've answered those 2 questions. We know the candidate's reason for leaving, and we've had to think about, you know, potentially how we can solve the candidate's reason for leaving. You know, the opportunities that exist within our organisation, the additional skills and experience that the candidate could gain, you know, if they were to come here. So now what do we do with this? Key thing is, when we get to interview, we need to make sure the candidate comes away knowing these points. And how I'd recommend you sort of do this is you do your interview as normal. You'd thoroughly interview your candidate. You'd make sure you ask them all the questions you want to ask. You probe as much as you want, and you're comfortable, and you know that this person is capable of doing your role. Then I would spend the last 10 minutes of the interview, you know, explaining to them or talking to them about how you feel your organisation, your opportunity could solve their reason for leaving. So, you know, talking through with them what's appropriate and how you're just going to solve that, you know, the issues that they have with their current company. It could be that, you know, we'll just give them examples of how people have come into this role in the past and they've been promoted, and so though, you know, if you're successful in this role, Mr. Candidate, you'll be able to do the same. And you know, if we do that, then we'll be in a position where the candidate will come out of the interview and their interest level will be at the highest point. And it'll mean that they're more likely to accept your job offer if you were to extend it, and you know, take that offer over other offers that are, you know, extended to them. And you know, if we follow these steps, if we make sure we understand the candidate's reason for leaving, and we think about how our company can solve it, it'll mean that you know, we'll be able to predict potentially even before we interview a candidate, whether that candidate will accept our offer. And sometimes it might mean that we decide not to interview a candidate because we just know it's highly unlikely that they will accept our offer, because of potentially the same issues that they have within their current employer they might have if they were to take our offer. But it'll save us time, potentially save us some heartache, and will also increase the likelihood of the candidate accepting our job offer as well. So before we sit down and interview somebody, let's find out their reason for leaving. Let's then think about how we solve that particular issue or problem that they've got. If you're working with a good recruiter, they'll be able to tell you that, or failing that, we can just ask the candidate at interview as well. I hope you found this useful. For any other advice or tips with accountancy and finance recruitment, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm Matthew Finch from BTG Recruitment, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.